The Golden Table. A Jamaican folktale. Once, in a small village in Jamaica, there lived a poor boy named Jamie. He had no parents and lived with his greedy cousin, Clifton, who treated him like a servant. Jamie worked hard every day, cutting cane and selling fruit at the market, but Clifton kept all the money for himself. Still, Jamie never complained. He was kind to everyone, even when he had nothing. One hot afternoon, as Jamie walked home with an empty stomach, he saw an old woman struggling to carry a heavy basket of mangoes. Her back was bent, and sweat dripped down her face. "Grandmother, let me help you," Jamie said, rushing over. He carried the basket all the way to her little hut in the hills. The old woman smiled and said, "Such a good heart you have, child. Come inside, I have something for you." Inside, the hut was simple but clean. The old woman reached under her bed and pulled out a small wooden table. "This is no ordinary table," she said. "When you say, 'table,' spread yourself. It will give you the finest feast you've ever seen. But beware, greedy hands will regret stealing it." Jamie thanked her and hurried home, his stomach rumbling. That night, after Clifton had gone to bed, he whispered, "Table, spread yourself." At once, the table glowed gold and filled with steaming plates of jerk chicken, rice and peas, fried plantains, roast breadfruit, and coconut drops, enough to feed a king. Jamie ate until he was full, then carefully hid the table under his bed. Clifton grew suspicious. Days passed. Then weeks. Jamie, once thin and tired, now looked strong and healthy. His cheeks were fuller, his eyes brighter. Though he still worked hard, he never seemed as exhausted as before. Clifton, on the other hand, was as greedy as ever. He made Jamie work even harder, sending him to the market earlier, piling on more chores, and eating the best food himself. "You lazy boy," Clifton snapped one morning. "Why do you look so fresh while I feel tired?" Jamie only smiled and kept working. But Clifton was no fool. One evening, he noticed something strange. Jamie didn't seem hungry at dinner. He only picked at his food while Clifton devoured his portion. How is he getting so much food all of a sudden? Clifton wondered. That night, Clifton pretended to be asleep but peeked through a crack in the door. His eyes widened as he watched Jamie whisper to the table and saw it fill with food like magic. Aha! So this is his secret, he thought, rubbing his hands together. Theft and punishment. The next morning, as soon as Jamie left for work, Clifton sneaked into Jamie's room and grabbed the table. "Now I'll be the richest man in Jamaica," he cackled, running into the woods. Deep in the forest, he shouted, "Table, spread yourself." But instead of food, the table sprouted arms and turned into a giant whip. Whoosh! Crack! The whip lashed Clifton's backside over and over, chasing him through the trees. Yow! Oh! Stop! He screamed, running all the way back to the village, where the whip finally vanished, leaving him sore and humiliated. Meanwhile, Jamie found his golden table waiting for him at home, good as new. From then on, he shared its bounty with the whole village, while Clifton limped around for weeks, too ashamed to show his face. Moral of the story: kindness brings blessings, but greed brings a whipping. Jamie's good heart earned him magic, while Clifton's selfishness left him with nothing but sore bruises.